communication with.
Yeah, I think you and Greg, like, it's crazy that people think you guys hate each other. And then I got to tell you, when I left Tina, just the last people I see on my way out of this track each week is like Tina and Chris Miller. They're closing up the office. And they were laughing about you talking about, well, you can make me out to be this, but don't make me out to be the smelly kid in the room. And we had some good banner.
We have
Technical
to
difficulty.
draw the line.
What does that mean, Spencer? What's technical difficulty? Were we not on the air?
Wow.
Oh, so when did we start then?
Is that your way of saying?
Tell us.
Like, should that have been Spencer saying I screwed up? Like, technical difficulty. We own our shortcomings around here. It's all good.
It's never the wizard. Come on.
We'll get there sooner or later.
So, anyways, tonight's show, we're going to talk about the ESS weekend. They kicked off their season at Oshweekend on Friday. What a great turnout of cars. Nick Sheridan won the race. We'll have Nick join us here shortly. And then Lane Zardo and I think Billy Zardo are both going to join us to talk about their situation. And then Dale Shaw is going to join us to talk as well. Not the D Shaw in the chat, the Dale Shaw of Ontario.
I didn't.
And you know what's great, Adam? They missed half the conversation, so we can make it as juicy as we want.
It was gold.
Does it? I don't know. Whatever.
That was some of our best banter ever. And it's.
Did you realize for 2 minutes, nobody messaged us to say you're not on the air. Nobody cared. We were just.
What is
I don't know.
Hey,
Nikki cared though.
Our first guest is a second generation racer, but our second two guests are third generation racers.
Are you going for the fourth with Dale?
He's not the fourth. I guess, our next three are between the Zardos and Dale.
All right, let's bring on Nick Sheridan on the show. Nick raced with the Empire Super Sprints and picked up the win Friday at Oshweekend. Nick, thanks. I just want to talk about some stuff right off the top. I messaged your brother Jake today to ask him to come on the show. So before we talk too much, he just said he was tied up with work, so he couldn't come out and join us because we did try to get both brothers on today. We were trying to get the Sheridan brothers and the Zardo brothers, and we could have had a good, fun family fest here. But no less, Nikki, what did it mean for you to grab your first Oshweekend 360 win, to do it against the Empire Super Sprints, who were there with a 33 car field? Certainly not easy pickings. Some of the toughest sledding around, and it just goes to show that our guys have picked up their game. Talk to us what it's been like since Friday.
Well, it's been busy since Friday, Clinton. I mean, we went to Brighton on Saturday, and then got back home Sunday and getting things ready for this Friday. I've got to go away on a work trip this week too, so got to have everything ready by tonight. So we've just been haven't really had a whole lot of time to soak it in, really. But Sunday, I took a couple hours and relaxed, and it means a lot. It's pretty awesome show. Those guys are they're the real deal. All those ESS boys. They're when we used to, I was younger, we were growing up. Whenever the ESS guys were coming into town, that was a big deal. So and us Oshweekend guys never used to fare too well against them. And I think it just shows how the last few years with people like Dylan Westbrook and Mike Bowman, and obviously there's lots of others teams like Ryan Turner, Liam Martin, all those guys, but they just make you pick up your game. When you're racing against better cars, you get better. And we just had there's a lot of good competition every week at Oshweekend, and I think we've really elevated this Canadian sprint car racing scene. It's when they come to town, we're all pretty close. And it's a big deal to get that big win, though. It's been a long time coming. They were all saying it was my first 360 win, but I think it's my third. If you count the one before the Nationals, it's not. It's my second. So it's first one regular Friday Oshweekend. It means a lot. We've been plugging away for a few years. It feels like trying to get after that. So hopefully we can keep that momentum rolling and score a few more as the year keeps going there.
Nick, you raced the full lap after the checkered flag. Did you actually know the checkered flag had come out?
I did. I 100% did. But the whole last 12 laps, I've been leading in quite a few races at Oshwegan and finished second or third because of some reason that I didn't know until the end of the race. So the whole last 10 laps, I'm just driving. I'm like, okay, how am I going to lose this one? What's going to happen now? What am I going to mess up to cause us to not get this win? Because I feel like every time we're in this spot, something happens and we don't get the win. And I see the checker flag, and I'm like, just my luck. I'm going to think it's the white. I'm going to lift, and Poirier is going to blow by me. I'm going to stand beside him on concrete. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to be in the middle. So I just did an extra one just to be safe, and didn't really matter. But better safe than sorry, that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. Can you see the flags? Like, I know with the pitch of the wings, it can be challenging. And if you win the race, the lights are still green until you're well onto your cool-down lap.
Yeah, I can see them. A lot of the times, actually, I'll be looking at the scoreboard, too, to see how many laps there are left. And sometimes I'll see if my transponder goes across, it takes a few seconds for the guy in seconds to go across. I'll know I have a bit of a lead. It's a little harder to do that at Oshwegan just because of where it is. By the time you're pitching into one, you never really see the second place unless they're right on your tail. But I look over there to see what laps are going. I wasn't doing much of that the last couple laps of the Friday because there were so many lap cars in front of me. And once again, I'm just taking my eyes off the front of me one time and somebody's going to spin out. I'm going to smoke them or something. So just taking every safety precaution I could. I knew we had a really good race car and I felt we had a bit of a gap over play, which we did, which was awesome. But you can never be too safe and just got to do the best you can all the time.
Nick Sheridan, one of our longtime racers from around here, asked a question. Last week the debate was about wing differences, cockpit adjustments. Jordan Poirier's on here saying he just doesn't mess with them. You said, I think it might have been in one of the interviews afterward that you made some adjustments from your cockpit. Did those factors come into play? And then the third part about that is, was the tire a big difference? Could you feel it, being 2 inches skinnier, I guess we would say, losing 2 inches in width and being a lot harder?
The cockpit adjusters, yes, I actually set the car up a bit differently before the race, so I had more room for adjustment on my shocks in case I was off on any other setups. But I do build a lot of shocks here with our business and that, so I kind of understand what I need out of that pretty well. So I was actually adjusting the right rear shock under the green flag as the race was going. Like during the straightaways, I was reaching up and grabbing that, which was it's kind of wild. You don't get a lot of time to take your hands off the wheel at Oshwegan, but sometimes I knew I just had to do it, and we gained a lot there. So that's something that I liked having with the ESS. We're not going to have it next week. I think a lot of people have them and don't really understand all the time what their adjustments are doing, and they can dial themselves out. But fortunately, that didn't happen for us on Friday. We were able to use it. And even under cautions, too, I was thinking, okay, if I do this to the shocks, what's it going to do throughout the race? So it took a lot of thought and a little bit of preparing from my side. Excuse me. But the tire, as you mentioned, it's I don't have an exact answer for that because I haven't used – I've had a different configuration every time. Like this is a new chassis and a new engine for me, and that was my first 360 race with it. So I'm not really comparing apples to apples with my last year's car. I know we had to make some adjustments, and I did already make some here in the shop, factoring in for a harder, narrower right rear tire. And I do think it does change the racing. I think we've seen a lot of people run in the middle of the bottom on Friday, and that could have been a bit of the track prep, but also could have been a bit of not being comfortable with that tire yet to go out and do Dylan Westbrook things. But I think it's something that will come with time. I think for the first couple of weeks, it's going to be whoever, when we do switch to it, first couple of weeks can be whoever has it figured out as quickly is going to win a couple of weeks for sure.
Adam, I just got a quick one. Nick, do you think anybody will jump early ahead of the burn-off? Like, is there anybody going to say, hey, let's start working on the future setup right now? Or is that so you guys are going to stick with the soft tire as long as you can?
I mean, I'm not going to do it. I think I want to have the best car every week possible to win as many races as I can, have the most points at the end of the year. I think if you're just gearing up towards the end of the year, you can switch early and try and learn. But I do think I like the new tire. I like the fact it's a little bit harder. Maybe we can get a few more races off of it. I think it was pretty racy on the last race there on Friday. But I'm certainly not switching any sooner than I have to.
I don't blame you. We talked to Jordan Poirier last week, Nick, and he's mentioned he doesn't like to touch his onboard adjustments because he will tune himself out. But I was more curious to hear you say You set up the car in a way that you didn't think was the best setup, but it gave you the most adjustability. So you went out there, sacrificed something so that you could tweak on the thing while you were out there. And it's fascinating to me. Our first place driver and our second place driver went completely the opposite on how they approach a race with all of those tools.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I overthink things. That's definitely known around the pit area from a few friends of mine that I know. I get a little nervous and I over-adjust. But and just kind of with the package I had, sometimes with some of the shocks I have, I'm almost near the end of my adjustment when I start the race. So I put a little more in so I had more room for adjustment and then just did something else to counteract with that. But it worked out for me Friday. It doesn't always work out, that's for sure. But I just feel like with I've had a few laps around Ushwegen with the 360. This is our fourth season now there, so it's a place I'm more comfortable with. If I was going somewhere new, I might not do the same things, but had a little bit of home track advantage of us having a lot of laps there and kind of knowing what the track will do, what I think the car needs to do, and it just worked out for us.
A little Brighton birdie told me that your feet almost got wet on Saturday. Is it true you almost ended up in the creek Saturday night?
Yeah, that is true. We just there's a little bit. Both the driver and the crew is kind of we messed up on a couple of things, missed the boat a bit on qualifying, and the first lap of the heat race, I just got caught up behind somebody and didn't realize that the whole top of the track isn't grip there; it's marbles. So once you hit those, there's no grip. And I never been in the grass in a race car before, but I learned Saturday that it's ice. When people say that, they're not kidding. When you hit the grass, you have no grip, and I thought I maybe could have saved it and kept it on the track until I realized I was aiming right for a big, huge tractor tire. So then I tried to do a donut and missed the tire and then almost got in the creek. But got a little lucky with that save. Didn't want to wreck anything. And then after that, it's a really tough place to pass. The Brighton track, especially in that stage in the night. They did a great race. It was good for the facility was great timing. They got done in good time. I thought it was a decent show. But when you're starting that far in the back, it's to pass cars, you got to put your own car at risk. And I wasn't prepared to do that. It's the same payout from 11th to 20th, and I wasn't racing for points. So at that point, I just wanted to make sure we brought it home in one piece and make sure we got the car ready for this Friday to start racing for points at Ushwegen.
Nick, how much of a relief was it to knock off that win Friday? You got the whole season ahead of you. That's not a conversation anymore. You're a winner. It's
awesome. It's been you guys know, you've been watching me race there for a few years. It's been a lot of time trying to get one on a regular Friday night. It just seems like I was a lot of me learning. We had a lot of learning to do as a team, and I never had the last couple of years. Haven't really had much of a whole lot of people to bounce ideas off of on my team. We've had my crew members, obviously, like Tate and Gabby and Mike have been there the last couple of years. My girlfriend Hannah helps us out. My mom, my dad, they all do everything. They work as hard as they can, but they're all just as inexperienced as I am with dirt stuff. So we're all learning together, and it just takes time to when you're building that. But I think as we're building, we've learned every step along the way, and we have once we cross that threshold where we're a lot more experienced, we know all the things not to do, so we can kind of keep rolling. And I'm hoping we're at that stage now. You're always learning every time you go to the racetrack, but the more knowledge and experience you have in your back pocket, the easier it is to clock off wins and be consistent. That's what we're after. We're after consistency this year and chasing a championship at the Big O.
Looked awesome, Nick. We're going to get ready to roll out of here again. Friday, you really start, going for it. First points night, first big night of the year. I mean, obviously, the ESS Outlaws are obviously huge shows, big things for Ushwegen. But, this is where your title chase begins. Westbrook, he's been tough to beat lately, but you've shown the last few races you've been the car to get it done. So good luck, man. Adam, anything else you want to ask Nicky?
No, not really. What does happen if you win a race and your brother wins a race on the same night? Who gets the bigger steak the next day at the table? It's clear if one of you doesn't perform, you're in the doghouse. But when you both do, who's mom's favorite?
My mom makes a lot of mean steaks, Adam. It's usually all you can eat here. But I will tell you one thing: typically the beer store Mount Bridges would be pretty sold out after that weekend. But we were actually so busy with Jake had to go back to work Saturday, and I had to go back racing Brighton Saturday. I haven't even seen him in person since we both won. We've both been working and busy. So we talked on the phone a few times, and I love chatting with him. He had an awesome race there on Friday. It's just life gets busy, we get busy, and we don't always have time to do all the things we used to do, but it's a pretty awesome night, and we both get treated pretty well when we by everyone when we run well. When we don't run well, we do as well. Everyone's pretty my parents and that everyone's really supportive of what we can do. So we get big stakes almost all the time, Adam.
Last one I got for you, Nikki. How do you feel about Jake and the team's package going into Flamborough this Saturday with the APC series? Jake's been hot lately.
I feel pretty confident. We had a great run there a couple weeks ago. I'm still very involved in that program, but I'm not quite as involved as last year. That car is housed mostly at McCall's, and I'm with my sprint car program at work. I'm not there as much as I was before, as much as I can be. But we had a really good platform there last week. I think something to build off of. The guys there, Paulie and Jake, and we've all changed a couple of things I think are going to only improve our car this weekend. And I think we got a good shot to run well and try and stay out of the trouble that Flamborough has.
Right on, Nick.
Right on, man.
Good luck, man.
Always look forward to seeing you. Really happy for that win, Nick. You were due. You've earned it.
I appreciate it, boys. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and we'll try and win a couple more so I can talk to you guys again this year.
Right on, Nick. Thanks, bud. Well, we've seen him come in as a 14-year-old rookie and to win the championship that year. The progression's been amazing. Great attitude, great ambassador. You know, every racetrack needs more of the Sheridans. So now we'll jump into another family of brothers.
Did you notice he's really slowed down in his speaking? He still talks fast. He is still a Sheridan. But in his crate championship year, like a million miles an hour, it was really hard for my ears to keep up with his mouth. But
even when he got out of the car Friday, it was like an excited calmness. You know, it was like the perfect temperature that he brought. Let's bring the Zardos. Both Lane and Billy sitting by, keeping Lane up over here. It's way past his bedtime. I see you yawning over there, buddy. It's all right. Adam yawns too. We have it.
Yeah. Last week I kind of threw all my chips in betting that Saturday was going to go good, and had a few 8-hour shifts at work, so had to make up with it this week and doing a bunch of 13 hours.
Well, that's tiring, man. So
yeah, cars cost money, tires cost money, and apparently so do steel roofs when you got to replace them.
yeah, so let's talk about that. You got upside down. That's not cool. Like there's a couple things about racing that really suck when you're talking about late models. One is fire. One is about landing upside down. How shitty was that?
Honestly, the first thing that went through my mind was, damn, my Uncle Pete's gonna be pissed. Second thing that went through my mind, I heard my brother on the radio asking if I was okay. He was actually one of the first people to me. I think he hopped over like a 10-foot fence just to make sure I was okay. Yeah, man, like flipping's kind of rough. It's more or less just all the aftermath, like having to load the car and then having to unload it and all of what follows, you know, kind of writing off a race car. It's a lot more mentally than it was physically, to be honest.
All right.
Now let's back things up a bit here, Adam, because I got a few pictures of the car. So for those who aren't up to speed with what happened, you know, this is pretty much, you know, your grandpa's car was an Oscar hot rod. You guys have now assumed ownership of it. You've been running this car. Spencer, go back to the other picture of the sheet metal because I want to see all the sheet metal work that you guys put in. Yeah, so these are real deal, old school. A lot of shop work goes into this car. So you bring it out for its big debut. Now show it pretty, Spencer. Go back to the other pic if you want. There's it is all finished off. And then Saturday you have an issue. So Lane, what was it? What was the issue that put you in the wall that flipped this thing over?
Yeah, so it's actually a different chassis than what it was because we went to test it so we could bring it up to my grandfather's memorial race last year, and a fluke accident happened. A brake bracket ripped apart as my dad was testing the car, and it destroyed the car. So we got a 2011 McCall Limited late model chassis, and I've been rebuilding it all year. Put a new rear clip on it, reworked the front clip, remounted a body. I did all that sheet metal work myself, and my brother did what he could to help out as well. And yeah, just like really tried to make pretty much like our own car, like start from the ground up. And yeah, just what actually happened this time was a upper rad hose. There's a steel braided line that attaches into a fitting, and they're supposed to be worked for high pressure. And apparently there's a little bit too much pressure in the motor, and it just blew off halfway down the straightaway and caked the track in water and antifreeze, and it wrecked a lot of good cars as well. It went from 13 or 14 cars in the field, and it dropped it down to 8, which really sucks for your grandfather's memorial race. Steve Book also ended up on his lid. So, as much as it sucks for us, I like, my heart goes out to all the other racers because I know how much time and effort I put into that car, and it was something off of my car that just caused 5 other cars to pile into the wall.
So, Billy, correct me if I'm wrong. I get my years mixed up. Like if it's between 1985 and 2025, it can be here or there. Did you not have a phenomenal night going last year at Sunset, or was that 2 years ago? And wind up getting the car junked. I thought it was opening night. Like,
Yeah,
why is this happening?
that was 2 years ago. The second night in. It was the first feature because we used to run double features that on those nights, and yeah, the car was just completely scrapped, so we had to rebuild that.
And the reason I bring that up, you guys keep coming back, and you're going to keep coming back because you're Zardos, you're true racers. But my goodness, why? Why? Like the hardships, the amount of blood and sweat and money you put into these things, and it can kick you right in the balls. What keeps you coming back? And then talk about Saturday night. What went through your mind seeing Lane upside down?
Well, really,
Yeah, well,
what keeps us coming back is we're too small to play contact sports, and we're not good at golf.
honestly though, for me, it's always been it's a different type of family. I mean, I was at a racetrack when I was a year old, and it's all I know, and um, there's no other type of lifestyle for me, and uh, seeing my grandfather with my dad and the bond that they shared through racing, and um, me and my brother were as close as we are probably because of racing and all that kind of stuff. um, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll call my brother to grab a pound of wings or whatever, but 99% of the time I'm calling him to help me change a tire on the race car, or whatever. So it's just the bond that it brings to the family, and all the great people you meet along the way.
Then
Let's
talk
look at where
about
we go from here,
Saturday night.
guys. Well, go ahead, Adam.
Sorry, Clint. Talk about Saturday because I know it was emotional for you. You're standing at the fence. What goes through your mind? What did you see? How did it look from where you were standing?
Yeah, so I was on the radio spotting, and at Flamborough, my favorite spot to spot from is corner 4 on the grandstand side. So I walk all the way around, all the way through the pits, all the way through the parking lot to get to the grandstand side and go up. And from the drop of the green flag, it was kind of chaos. The 00 car, something happened with him, and my brother got caught up in it and got pushed back a couple spots. The next thing you know, I was calling 3 wide, you're in the middle, 2 wide, you're up high. And then what looked like he settled into position, and we were just going to ride around a bit, start picking them off. And then I seen smoke coming out of the car going down the back straightaway. And as soon as I seen that, I knew something was wrong. I was praying that it was just a little bit of tire rub. But unfortunately, you could tell it was like driving on ice, and away he went up into the wall. So once I seen that he was flipped over, I went running down. I jumped the fence and got onto the track as soon as I could. I was to his car before he got out, and I was just talking him through it, making sure he was okay. Because, that's a car out of our garage. It's a Zardo car, but that's my little brother in that thing, and I wanted to make sure he was okay.
So this is a pet project for you guys. You know, where do you go from here? What other cars you got in the fold? What are we looking forward to? And where do you go with the Superbird?
Superbird, I think I don't know. Somebody sent me like a lot of people sent me nice messages. One person sent me a message saying something that stood up out was saying, your grandfather never wanted you to be him. He just wanted you to be yourself. And I think the last little bit, us trying to get the Superbird going and trying to really showcase it for my grandfather. Maybe there's just something about maybe my grandfather wanted to be the last person to ever drive that. So it's maybe the Superbird body is done, like the body itself is destroyed. But we got the chassis, which I can kind of rework a little bit. We got a bad fast motor thanks to Brian Cathcart, and we got a lot of sponsors on the car that really didn't get their due diligence. Like they didn't really get their spot in the their time in the spotlight because there was only 2 laps on it. So we'll figure out what kind of car we want to put that Dodge motor in, and me and my brother kind of share a pro late model program. So we're just going to go out and try to knock off some laps and hopefully get a couple victories in that thing.
Right on, man. Where can we see you next? Where can fans expect to see you show up next?
I know I'm racing the 36 car most weekends at Flamborough Speedway. The next race for my brother, Billy, your schedule pretty good, don't you? I'm
Yeah.
not very oriented, unfortunately.
The next race for me is quite possibly on the 14th at Sunset in a OSS car. But that's not set in stone yet. And then it was supposed to be the memorial race for me and you with the hot rod at Sunset. We'll still be there on the 21st, supporting the drivers who were supporting our grandfather's race. And then July 5th is the next time we have the Pro 8 model out. So we kind of spaced out the Pro 8 model program best we could to make sure that it gets the most amount of time possible before it hits the track. I'm pretty happy with the way our program has been going this year as opposed to the Pro 8 model. And seems like every time we get to the track, the car's fast. It was great being up on the board throughout the APC the whole day, and we'll continue to grow on that. And we always want to have the car ready and the best possible for when we show up. So we believe right now, with the way our lives are and our programs are, running on a weekly basis isn't the way to go. So that's why we're kind of doing like a shortened schedule type thing.
Right on, boys. Well, we appreciate you stopping by today. I'm sure you get lots of support going forward, and if you need anything, just reach out.
Yeah, we appreciate what you guys do for us, and obviously all the short track racing. And you guys will be at Flamborough, I'm guessing, this weekend, so I might stop in and watch, and might bug you guys a little bit off camera.
Right on, we'll be there.
Come sit down, strap on a headset, buddy.
Yes, definitely.
Boys. Careful what you.
Yeah, of course. Come on up. I love what you guys are doing. There's no point racing every week if it's going to break you. Make it so when you do hit the track, you're going to be fast. Go out there and compete for wins. So good talking to you, Lane. I'm glad you're all right.
And, I want to touch on that 1 second too. Like I'm definitely loving daddy duty sort of thing. So it's where I want to be. And I get to go to the shop once or twice a week and bond with my brother and work on race cars, and I get to come home and play family man with my beautiful wife and new son. So I'm happy.
Right,
that's all that matters.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you soon.
See you at the races.
See you guys.
Wow, tough break for those guys, man. It sucks, and it happens in so many races. Maybe your car doesn't get wrecked, but you have such high hopes. You put months into this thing, and it just doesn't work out the way you want. I mean, hell, even with my dad, Gary, I don't know how many years we had new motor, new chassis, just figured this is the shot, and just, man, it's very tough to live up to those times. Spencer, I just sent you 2 pictures. Those are for my Apple iPhone segment coming up, but we'll get ready with Dale Shaw here in a minute.
Clint, I got a question for you. Who
Okay.
can seal a dirt car sportsman crate motor?
There's lots of people. Why?
Someone asked me today who can do it. I says, well, I think Klotzes can, but apparently they
No.
cannot.
No.
So who is there
Nobody.
in our neck?
Oof. I don't know. That's a good question. Someone from the Niagara Dirt's got to comment on that. It was Blanchard, but he got
Right.
thrown out. I don't know if Fran has that inside info up to date. Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of the engine builders down that way have kind of gone. Yeah, Doneth can, but we're talking about here in Ontario, Fran.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Doneth, which is central New York. And I think there's someone maybe down Cornwall way.
Hey,
I'm not
I gotta
sure.
send
John?
I gotta send a shout out to Robert Longboat, Robbie's son. It's his birthday. Watches us every week. Robbie said to say hello. We do have a couple fun topics coming up still. We're going to talk about generational gap that the fans are facing between elderly fans and the new fans and the new systems we're putting in place from here all the way to NASCAR and how some fans are getting left behind. We'll also talk a bit about the finish line debate because did you see the pictures from Delaware, Adam? Of the Jake and the Steckley finish? Yeah, bullshit. Mike Curra's waiting for 2 Christmases. He's been begging for this one. We're getting to you, Dale. One second. Bring Dale on if you want, Spencer. And then I want to talk about Apple iPhones. A lot of us have the Apple iPhone weather app, and I'm going to show you why it deceives race fans and racetracks weekly with a clear example of how you have to drill a bit deeper on your Apple iPhone weather to get the true picture of what's happening at the races. All right, Dale Shaw's going to join us. Dale, welcome to the program. Car owner, car racer, car washer, car prepper, car tower, car repairer, car driver. What are we leaving out, bud? You do it all with help of a great team, but you've got behind the wheel more than you have in the past 2 years, it seems like. Is that going to help your teammates going into Flamborough with the APC this weekend, or are they going to wish that you had dedicated more time to the program instead of messing going in circles yourself?
No, it should be good. We're kind of on we're on a bit of a new program this weekend with our Flamborough stuff. Something I've never ran before. I'm kind of the test dummy for it. So we'll see what happens. But this weekend, it's me and Junior Farley going this weekend. So down to 2 cars, we can focus a little more, and the car to people ratio is a little bit better. And I think it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Dale, at Sunset Speedway, you looked the fastest compared to the rest of the cars at the end of the race.
Yeah.
Is that a setup thing, or is that a behind-the-wheel thing, knowing when to push it?
So a bit of both. One of the things that's interesting about Sunset, and we race there so much, is like me, Eric, and Junior Farley all have our own setups. We all have our own baseline. We all have kind of what we like there. What I like there is probably the best on the long run, but the worst on the short run. I think Eric probably had the best car. He kind of has the in-between setup between me and Junior until he kind of got taken out in a little bit of a skirmish. But, I have a ton of laps there, and my stuff just works really, really good on the long run. And Junior Farley can haul butt on the short run. So, it would have been interesting if Eric could have stayed up there and, battled it out with us to the end. But, I think it's setup and driver, a mix of a bit of both.
Can you do it at Flamborough? Like, will you go to Flamborough with the same sort of thing? This is going to be fastest at lap 140.
So to be honest with you, I found a really, really good baseline for us at Frostfest last year till I did what I did. But I think we were good, and I think I got the pole. And I just didn't get to find out if it would be really good on the long run. But what I'm going with now this weekend is completely new. It's kind of what we dreamt up this winter. We went and tested last Tuesday for everybody in the APC series. We didn't go this week. We're not getting in trouble. It's all good. We went last Tuesday and tested, and we were pretty happy. So, it'll be interesting. everybody kind of knows Sunset's our place, and we're really good there, and we're competitive every time out. And places like Flamborough and stuff, we've gotten a little behind through the years, and we're just trying to get caught up on the new technology, and keep up with the masses, right?
You talk about being good on the long run. It's a 150 lap race, round one of the NTN Bearings Triple Crown. How does that change your day at all, Dale, knowing you have 50 extra laps at a place that can be tough? And Nick Sheridan said it earlier, you're either content where you are, or you have to put your car at risk to make moves. And I feel Flamborough is one of those places. Like, gosh, we can maybe not so much, because it's wide and you got room, but a place like he was referring to Brighton. And I think Brighton and Flamborough kind of have that same type of passability. Yes. If you can't, even the one's pavement and dirt, you're going to have to put your car at risk to move forward at Flamborough. Is that something you're comfortable doing? It can be a rough spot at night.
Yeah, no, I haven't had the best luck. I haven't made the best decisions there the last couple of years. I haven't raced there much in the last couple of years. Tried to. We usually wreck, and we usually take somebody out and piss somebody off and have a bad night. And we're going to try and turn things around. But the trickiest part about Flamborough Speedway and a couple of the racetracks we go to is the tire we're on now is so hard. And you can literally run like 100 qualifying laps at some of these racetracks. And it makes it even tougher because 10, 15 years ago, we were on a lot softer of a tire, and there was a lot more tire fall off, and you were able to manage your equipment a bit more and then have tire fall off and be able to pass guys. Whereas now it's 100 qualifying laps, 150 qualifying laps. And it's something we've just had to retrain our cars to do and retrain our drivers to do, because I grew up, like, we were even on an 8-inch tire one year, and you could just pedal for half the race and drive by guys. So yeah, 150 laps. I'm hoping it spreads out the field a bit more, a bit longer green flag runs, which will help passing, and hopefully less restarts and all the kind of things. But I'm not going to lie to you, I get major anxiety going to that place. I've had some of the worst wrecks in my life there, and I don't know why I'm going there. Everybody asks me, why are we going? Like, why don't we just keep running Sunset? And we're going to try. We want to support the series. We want to support racing in Ontario, and just hope we have a good run and come out with a clean car. But yeah, I don't know, 150 laps. I'm not sure whose idea that was, but hopefully everything goes okay.
Now, what does your dad have to say about it, Dale? Because he was legendary at Flamborough.
Mm-hmm.
He was legendary at most places, but Flamborough is really where he cut his teeth, did his learning, did his winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the biggest thing is the cars have changed so much. Now that sometimes we go back and forth on like what a race car needs at that place, and really it's become a competition who can get through the center of the corner better. And for years back in the day it was bite off, and now it's who can get through the ends better and who can make lap time, right? And my dad loves that place. He just and it's funny because my dad's kryptonite was Delaware for many years. I remember there's a picture of Ronnie Sheridan on top of the hood of his car, like his race car on top of Dad's hood, and he never had any luck at Delaware. And my Flamborough is kind of the same as his Delaware. Like, I just haven't had any luck there in a long time, struggled there. And he's good, he's supportive. Like, he knew, like last year at Frostfest, I was really, really mad at myself, and I basically said to him, like, we can't be wrecking race cars. And he's awesome. I give my dad credit, and he's an amazing dad, and he's becoming a really good coach too. And he's there behind me 110%. And on Saturday when I'm all freaking out and hoping the night goes good, and he's good, man. He's one of the best guys to have in your corner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So hopefully some Jason Shaw luck shows up with my car this weekend. That'd be pretty cool.
Dale, my question for you is, sure, you had an incident at Frosttoberfest. You're remorseful about it. You're still down on yourself about it. What does it take for you to get that behind you? Is it a win at Flamborough? Is it a solid run Saturday? I mean, you don't come off as a dickhead racer who was happy that you put someone out of a race. It comes through on every time you're near a microphone about how you care about everybody else's gear just as much as your own. I don't think that's – I don't think you're considered reckless in the pits. So how do you put that behind you, I guess? That's
a good question. It's something I've talked to a lot of people about. I think probably having a good run, not tearing anything up. It's funny. We had this little joke kind of within the Shaw Motorsports deal that a few years ago, I can't remember what year it was, but I ran a race there. My goal that day was not to hit anybody, not to piss anybody off at Flamborough Speedway. I started 13th. I finished 11th. There wasn't a mark on the car. And after the race, every driver was yelling at each other, except for nobody was yelling at me. And there was no mark on my car. But you have to be aggressive there. Like there's no, like at Sunset Speedway, I can ride around for 50 laps, wait till the pace slows down half a second, and then you can just drive around people. It doesn't work that way there. And that's the tough part. And it's the new style of racing. And in my opinion, a lot of it is the tire is the issue. Like the tires are so hard nowadays. You can just run so hard. It's insane. Like for example, Sunset Speedway, we'll say around 2015, 2016, when we would run a 100-lap race, we'd fall off a second to a second and a half. And now at Sunset Speedway, we run a 100-lap race, we're only falling off half a second. And that fall off, it's the same thing NASCAR is going through right now. That fall off is how you pass people. Because when cars slow down, it's easier to pass. And if one car slows down more than another, that car can pass that car. So there's a lot of factors involved. And the cars are going so much faster now. Like, we're doing the same lap times at Flamborough Speedway we were doing 12, 13 years ago, but the asphalt is 12, 13 years older. Just the cars are so much faster to make up for the old asphalt. So it's tough, man. I want to have a good weekend this weekend, be able to have a beer with the guys, have nobody yelling at me after the race, and move on and talk about running Peterborough, I guess is the way I look at it. So, yeah.
I don't know if you heard us talking about sprint car rules earlier, but as of August 1st, the right rear tires are 2 inches narrower.
Man. Okay, you're going to get me wound up. So, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. So in 2014, for some reason, I don't remember why, it was so long ago, but they put us on an 8-inch tire. So we currently run a 10-inch tire. They put us on an 8-inch tire, same compound, on a 10-inch wheel. Just 2 inches less rubber on every corner. We slowed down half to 3/4 of a second at every racetrack. And the racing was like it is at Sunset. Like at Delaware Speedway, you could let people by, let them burn their tires up, and then you can go past them at the end of the race. Like, it was incredible. I have onboard cameras. Like, it was so much fun. And to hear that they're taking right rear away from sprint car racing, in my opinion, and I don't know a lot about sprint car racing, but they need to do that in every discipline of racing, whether it's asphalt late models, dirt late models, whatever. In my opinion, that should really, really help sprint car racing, in my opinion, at least.
No, and that's why I brought it up. It's fun to hear someone's perspective. I'm the same way. I think a lot of race cars need to be unhooked from the racetrack. They handle
100%.
too well, and they don't fall off enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how you do it. The easiest thing to do is to take away tire.
Yep.
I don't care how you do it. Make them harder to drive. And that's selfishly, like, I know I'm a bit of a flag, but I love the NASCAR Canada Series.
Yep.
It's what I love about those cars in a 250-lap race. If you're fast in the first 50 laps, you're going to be a complete weapon by the middle of the race.
And there's a couple other denominators. I know the NASCAR Canada, cars are a lot heavier as well. I watched like the Lucas Oil or whatever they're called, OSS now, heavier cars, super stock racing, heavier cars. When you take tire away, you make the cars heavier, slows the cars down, slows the pace down, allows drivers to make maneuvers to pass people, and just puts on better racing. In my opinion, you're spot on, Adam. I'm going to say this again. I think that's an amazing idea for sprint car racing. The more off throttle time and the more braking you do, the more passing there will be, and the better the race will be. 10 out of 10. That's, in my personal opinion, that's the key to good racing.
Well, the other thing about it, we've gone from a very soft tire to the hardest tire we could put them on. And this is all like economy-based stuff like that. We're not the problem at Oshwegan, but where we share the tire across all the sprint genres, some of these guys are eating a tire nights. We're trying to save these guys some money. Dale, I appreciate you stopping by. I know Adam does as well. Try and get some sleep between now and Saturday, bud. You're twisted up already. Hopefully you're talking to us for the right reasons, as I like to say to my buddies, and make sure things are going the right way.
I just have one more thing I want to comment, if you're okay, on the harder, softer tire thing.
Yeah, sure.
So the harder tire, economically wise, and the way racing is right now, makes a lot of sense. But softer tires, more tire fall off is better racing, more passing. I understand the harder compound. I don't think Oswego Speedway has an issue with passing per se compared to some other racetrack. Like, it's so wide that I think if you're faster, you're faster. I don't like the way, and it seems I can't speak for the dirt world, but I know in the asphalt world, tires seem just be getting harder and harder every year. And I don't know why. I don't know if that's the materials they're made out of. I don't know if that's just, I don't know why, but I don't think that's the right direction for good racing, in my opinion. I think softer, less rubber, heavier cars, and more horsepower, but that costs a lot of money. We'll put on better racing. But yeah, man, awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
So Dale, where I'll differ with you there is on the dirt side, you're not putting 4 tires on a night. So you can go to that harder tire, right? You might put a tire on, you might damage a tire, but you can run tires week after week. In your world, you're bolting on 4 every week. So whether they're soft or whether they're hard, you've still got to replace them at the start of that day.
I think more people are putting 4 tires on a night in the dirt world, Adam, than what you would believe. I did play in the dirt world a little bit back in, what would that have been, 17, 18, 19 and stuff. It is incredible. I helped a guy who used to take other people's takeoffs, and there was people putting tires on every week. And I think this might be mean, or this might sound bad, but sometimes I find people are what I call dirt blind, because you think people are running the same 4 tires week in and week out. They're not. It's just not that way.
But they don't do it because it's an advantage. They do it because they can.
So that's another
silly
thing.
Buggers. I know who does it. I know who shows up with 4 fresh, and I know the one who doesn't.
Yeah.
And still is able to compete with them. It's like, haha.
Yes.
I get it though. I'm foolish to think that people aren't doing it, but it is a little bit different.
It is.
Than the pavement world, where cars 1 through 24 are all bolting on 4 tires because it's the rules. Right?
And so this year I've been trying to run the Sunset Weekly program just to support the racetrack, and we need to keep things going, and I've got race cars sitting there, so I'm going to go race, and we're on a tire program. So weeks where I do not put 2 rights on, I don't have a shot at winning that night in the asphalt world. Whereas I think in the dirt world, and obviously it depends on what division we're talking about here, you can be competitive on used tires 100%, but there's a lot of tires floating around. I'm sure we can fit. So that I do know for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
Is.
Awesome.
Right
Thanks,
on, Dale.
guys.
Good luck Saturday.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, guys.
Dale.
We kick off our broadcast live on Racing America Saturday around dinner time. I don't know the exact time. Is it 6 o'clock, Spencer? I think it was 6 o'clock on Racing America. It also replays on Rev TV live on, no, not live, replays on Rev TV Wednesday at 9 p.m. And then we're going to air the entire broadcast on GeForce the following week. All right, we still have got a couple of cool things to get through. We got our Burger Barn videos of the week. We got our picture drop. We got iPhone weather and fans lost in generational gap. Let's look at iPhone weather first. Spencer, show me the first picture. It's the one, we'll figure out if it's the right one or not. Yes. Okay, so look at Adam. This, for example, just picked a random day. It says Tuesday, 65% rain. Okay, so this is for all of us who have an Apple iPhone. Okay, if you're on the Samsung Galaxy or whatever, BlackBerry, it's probably not the same. But I would say 80% of us. Spencer, you're a guy in this deal. What percentage of our fans do you think are on iPhone? 80%? Is it that high? North America, 60%. Okay, so at least more than half our fans, Adam, are on this app. When you click on Tuesday, it looks like it's going to be a shitty day, 65%. When you click on that on your Apple, it takes you to the next slide, Spencer. This is showing the top is the temperature graph. The bottom is the chance of precipitation. So, Adam, here it shows, sure, chance of precipitation between midnight and 6 a.m., but there's absolutely nothing going on between 9 a.m. and the rest of the day. So when you look at your weather app, you've got to drill down one more click. Click the day, Now click on Tuesday if you were here, and it would take you to the next graph. And the bottom part of that graph is the chance of precipitation. So a lot of us, people are saying to me, even at me, oh, did you see the weather for Friday? I click on it, and I don't give a shit if it rains from 11 p.m. the night before till darn near 9 a.m. the next morning. We can make it work, right? But it's just that's one of the things where we're getting deceived by technology there. So drill a bit farther when you're on your iPhone.
Well, as the age-old, and I didn't like it when we had forums, and I didn't like it when social media came out, when people start posting about how the weather looks bad. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Just say nothing. There's nothing
Yeah.
good comes of that.
You're right. If
Now-
you're a racer, go ahead. Finish your thought. I thought you were done there.
I don't mind in the private chat groups. Like we have chat groups for every division of racing at Ashweekend. Go ahead, by all means, have that conversation because we're all on the same part of the show. We're all in the background, but you're not discouraging anybody from coming to the racetrack.
Yeah, and I'm with you. You're not helping us make that decision to the positive side, and by the positive side, I mean keep going through with the night or the event. If everybody on there is talking about weather, so like even Friday, I don't know. I just had this battle mindset. I'm like, no, we're not talking about weather. We are racing Friday 100%, no matter what. And it started to spit, which I did not expect at all. But that's because I stopped looking at the sky. Obviously, whatever it says all around it, Ashweekend proved that the last year out of all years. It could be raining everywhere around, but we're still getting these races in on a lot of nights. So, typically our deal is just for fans here. We wake up in the morning. If it's been raining and going to keep raining, we'll pull the plug by 10 a.m. If we still have to make a decision and check things out, we'll wait till noon. If we wait till noon, we're hoping it's either going to change or dry up, at which point we wait till about 3 o'clock. And if we can't pull the plug by 3 o'clock, the last threshold is 5 o'clock before we start taking money. So those are kind of the steps when we try and look at on weather days and make our decisions and see how we get through them. So I just thought that was an interesting thing, the iPhone weather app, because I'm always drilling down a bit further. So click it one more time. Let's jump into fans lost in the generational gap. This was a post, and this, Adam, has to do with everything racing. This is specifically talking about people bitching, and we'll start with Jeff Gluck's on the bottom. So people mentions in his mentions are bitching about racing on Prime. It's so exhausting. Oh no, possibly the best NASCAR TV coverage ever is on a streaming service with a free 30-day trial, but I want to reach more ads and have them post. So anyways, he's saying, look at NASCAR is giving its best coverage on Prime right now. Yes, it's a streaming service, but they gave you a free deal. But what Brent says is, I respect your opinion, Jeff, but for some people, it's just not that easy. My dad, for example, has probably watched every race I've ever competed in since 99. I'll always tell him he's still excited about the VCR. Last night, I got a text asking what channel is the race on. I can't find it. The generational gap with technology is real unfortunate, okay? The old school fans enjoy the simplicity of just flipping it on the race and the TV without having to use the smart TV, Apple TV, whatever it is. And for some folks to find these races, it's just tough. Okay, so Spencer, back to that. Now, where that touches us, Adam, is even at Ashweekend. Most of our online ticketing is there now. There's not a lot of help for elderly folks. We're trying to get away from that. And I'll tell you, our cold attitude is you're going to have to get your kids or your grandparents to help you figure this out. Nobody helps me out when I go to buy Bills tickets. There's not a helpline for that. It's just one of those things where we're moving. Are we leaving fans in the gap, Adam?
Yes and no. Case in point, Connor's grandfather is not going to come to a race. He's just to the point where he's not going to venture that far on a Friday night. He wasn't going to come anyhow. So we've got to get him trained on how to find GeForce TV. And he's getting better with multiple remotes, where to find certain things. And I just use him as an example. Like, there's so many like that who we want to bring them the excitement of racing. We want them to be a part of our show. They're going to tune in online. it is a real struggle. It's a turning point, but NASCAR did what it had to do. Do you know how many times I've missed the start of races because they're on the CW network, and I'm so used to checking through all the TSNs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. TSN's kind of left us high and dry now. Yeah, they're either hit and miss. I mean, I couldn't find the race the other day, and I could have been just missing it. But I think the unfortunate of the current business plan is it's so scattered. When diehard fans like us, who are fairly tech savvy, have trouble finding your event, you got a big problem. But back to the generational gap, when we started G-Force and we first started Streaming Rush Weekend, there was talk about putting it in a $5 pay window, something cheap, make them sign up, get an email. No, man, this is why we kept it on YouTube and Facebook, because it was the most basic platform that people could click through, and a 90-year-old, couple could sit there and find grandson's race by clicking on it and making it very easy. It's been one of the things we've won. Hopefully we can get everybody back merged into one channel here eventually, and we'll work it out. Thank you, Dusty. Dusty says, I want to shout out to the announcing for the mini stock race on energy you guys brought, and the build up to the finish was fantastic. Easier to sell it as meaningful to not. Thank you, Dusty. You and your brother put on a fantastic race. If you didn't see the racing from Rush Week, and our mini stocks crushed it on what was a fantastic night of racing all around. Adam, I got called up to the microphone because Greg went to the bathroom, I think, and we had a great time with it. I think definitely pumped me up on each other. It was exciting all time racing, and Dusty, you and your brother put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, no, that was an awesome night of racing. I actually lost my words on the last lap going into turn 3. I kind of got overwhelmed because there was too much going on, and I hesitated. But we made it to the
not
finish
too
line.
often.
Yeah, that was.
I can go back and watch a race, but I enjoyed watching that back on Saturday myself. Let's have some fun. Let's go to picture drop, and then we'll finish off with Burger Barn videos of the week. We got about 10 minutes to go here. Show us some pictures, Spencer. My computer keeps freezing. Oh, there we go. Okay, so Adam, as a broadcaster, this is just something cool. Maybe for us, maybe Spencer. As Craig Sager came to the end of his career, he kept a mic flag or flash from every network he had worked on. So that's the topper of the microphone, right below the top of the microphone that tells the network. And he kept one from all the networks he was on. I think that's cool. As a broadcaster, I would like to have.
So fess up. Now, Clinton, I know you keep your wristbands on. I keep nothing. I've got some old ratty golf shirts, but otherwise, I have nothing to indicate like that I was in Montreal for the NASCAR weekends that were so much fun, Edmonton for the IndyCar races, that we were at the Moody Mile for all those Super Dirt weeks. I have nothing from anything but great memories.
I don't have anything. I'll confess, my thing is more of an OCD thing. I don't keep it. It's like a paranoia. I think when we're on the road, I have to keep my wristband on until we all get home safe. And I don't know why. It's like the one OCD stupid thing I've got in the back of my head. It's like if I rip my wristband off too early, one of us is not going to make it home good. So that's the truth of it. I sure keep one. So I'll tell you, I keep over my shoulder here all the lanyards. See them hanging just there. Spencer, go full screen for a second on me. So over here over my shoulder, I keep all my lanyards just hanging off the rack there. Right beside the guitar. So those are from like NASCAR and all the places we've been. But no, okay,
and
let's go on.
You know what? When you go to GP3R, you get a photo ID. When you sign in, they print you a card with. Didn't keep those either. But you don't think, like I never thought in 2007 that I might still be going in 2025.
Very true. Show me something else, Spencer. We got a bunch to get through. Oh, Peter Turford posted this. In 1996, when the SOS started Rush Weekend Speedway, could you ever imagine that our sprint cars would get so healthy that 2 of our own are starting on the front row of the World of Outlaws at Oshwegan Speedway in 2025. Pretty kick-ass pick. Keep it moving.
Yep.
What is this? How about this? Midget with the wing, not on the front.
Oh, we might have lost Clinton there, but different place to put the wing for. It kind of takes away from the safety benefit
top,
of the wing, because the wing normally gives that crush zone. But I would be curious to run one of those cars directly beside, like the driver's even sitting farther forward in that car. That, Christ, it almost looks like a rear engine car. Clinton, let me know when you're back. Nope. Spencer, go to the next one. Grisdale Racing Products 150 this Saturday on Racing America. 6:30 p.m. it says is the start time. So that'll be a lot of fun. Flamborough Speedway always has exciting action. And touch a truck and tractor night. Bring your kids to see some big trucks and tractors Friday, June 6th. The Art Hill Memorial, 42 laps for mini stocks. And then, of course, the 360 sprints, the crate sprints, the Thunder stocks, all full divisions, all great racing. What do we have for videos, Spencer? Oh, Weber Valley Speedway.
Oh my God! Shut the hell up and let the EMT do its job. Damn, I hope Granny's okay.
You know, Weber Valley is just a cut above. They're that half step ahead the rest of us in taking chances in all the right places. Granny was okay. I'm sure she was. What's next? Oh, that's awesome. That's a lot of wasted pedaling, though. Like for a fat guy like me, that is a lot of pedaling for no good use when you're kicking the back end of that thing out as far as you are. Clinton Geoffrey has made his return. I can hear him.
I don't know what happened, man. My computer's still locked up in front of me. What'd I miss? You still talking about that one wing car?
I want to talk. Was that a rear engine car?
Okay. What else we got, Spencer? Let's get through this somehow. Okay, look at this, Adam. This is the her shifter. Can you imagine the sexist days back in the day? This is a his and her shifter with a key. So it actually says, if you zoom in on it, it says that, you know, he can hold the key and he can use the performance side. Today it would never fly. Never fly. You know, where you could get away with that. His and hers. And if you read the whole article, you guys are brave back then. All right, what else we got, Spencer? How about this track, Adam? That's a funky looking shape. What do you think about that?
Wow. Where is that?
I think that's Ocala. That might be Bubba.
Okay.
Bubba Raceway.
Where's the track? Where's the track that the Short Track Super Series was just at? It looked like a farm field. And it might have just been the Sportsman Short Track Super Series, not the modifieds.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that would have been. All right, what else
Spencer,
we got,
give it to us.
Oh, Adam, I'm not trying to pick on Flamborough, but photographers, racetracks, zoom in on this, Spencer. Zoom in on the crowd here, okay? I realize people have left, the races are over, but we need to stop taking photos like this against empty backgrounds. Adam, it doesn't make the place look like a happening, and I'm not just picking on Flamborough, but come on. Are you with me, Adam? We need to do a better job. Get a backdrop, get something. The whole thing is to try and we're bad at that. Some nights at our place it looks weak on camera.
That's what I was going to say.
And
I'm with you. We have similar challenges.
Yeah, it's just
come on, it's easy. Just put the car towards the infield. Show John and Frank's nice grass. Stop taking that picture against an empty grandstand. It seems to be the way the pavement tracks do it. That's just the way they parked them in Victory Lane for many years. It seems as an outsider. But come on, give me anything but empty boards. It just doesn't do you or your guys any favor. Even if you had an absolutely packed night, like, hey, they could have had that place jammed to the rafters. But when you're taking those pictures at that point in the night, it doesn't look good. All right.
But
What's
congratulations to Chase Mitchell on his win.
Yes. You know, Weber Valley, Adam, we've almost announced at places like this that they're selling their VIP booth available at Weber Valley if you want to go this weekend. All right. Let's go.
We already showed the video from Weber Valley.
Oh, okay. We put out a new challenge for race teams, and Travis Hofstad, the first one to hit it. We put out a challenge to the Weekend Race Teams, Adam, to help us share on social about the races coming up and our G-Force broadcast. We're giving away 4 pit passes and 4 Grand Finale passes to one lucky team chosen each week who goes out and does it. As soon as we post it, 1 minute later, Hofstadter had this up. We appreciate he got the assignment, and well done, Travis. Watch for more Rush Weekend posts coming down the pipe as we get closer to race week. What else? Oh, Adam, does Tanner Holmes put this up? The sprint car drive. Just talking about, it wasn't that long ago that these are what sprint car guys were driving. Can you imagine throwing it into a place like Knoxville on a heavy track or Eldora on a heavy track in one of these things? It's insane to think the balls these guys had back then.
I wonder what their life expectancy was. Like, if you were to talk to a young racer, what did they expect out of life? Like, did they realize that they could very well meet their end? And like Brian Clausen was very acceptive. He had accepted that he may not live a full life. He knows what he did was very dangerous.
You'd be that guy too to go up to him and say, "Hey, bud, how you feeling tonight? You know you could die tonight, right?"
No, I wouldn't do it like that. But I would sit down and have a conversation. Yeah, even I'm not that ignorant. I'm ignorant, but that'd be.
I'm just busting your balls. All right, let's go. What else, Spencer? All right, Burger Barn Visit Week. Burger Barn Mobile is up and ready. You can stop by and get some good food there all the time. Today I went by their ad to get some gas, and they were paving the whole parking lot again. So constant improvements going on down in Petro Plus and Burger Barn. All right, let's have some fun. Look at some videos.
The corner, it gives Jake Sheridan a little bit of a hole, a little bit of an opportunity, and he pounced. He went to the bottom. The 22 did the best he could to pinch the 52 off, and the 52 did the best he could to keep it off the 22. And you see a little bit of contact.
Now show the other picture I saved from Mike Cura today, Spencer, of the finish line from the other angle. And voila. Now it looks like Steckley's ahead. So that kind of shows, Adam, do you need a finish line still? Because it would have been hella controversial had we had one.
So here's, yes, you need a finish line, and you also need a camera positioned at the finish line. You can't use angles. There's just too much math on the go. If you're going to do it, like and we're showing these finishes, you really need a camera on the spot.
Yeah, I'm just busting your ass. That goes to show how close it was. And from a couple different angles, you could pick a different winner from every side. So I just thought that was interesting. They couldn't wait to have us talk about that this week.
Great finish, great race. My dog is a jerk tonight.
No, he knows it's time. He knows we're on overtime. He's like, all right, I gave you till 9:10. Now we're pushing 9:15. Let's get through these videos so we can go home.
I don't know what in the hell's under that mower, but he is gone. Look at that sumbitch flying past this whole damn field. I got to thank God, Jesus, my landscaper, my wife, her boyfriend, and everyone who helped this John Deere go fast. Woo!
Weaver Valley is on the cutting edge of AI. You got to love their efforts.
We are all living in the shadow of Weber Valley.
For sure, for sure. All right, what else we got, Spencer? Okay, so look at this, Adam. They are spraying water, trying to put the fire out while the race is still going on under the water.
Well, yeah, because they can drive through water, but they can't drive over a hose. Duh.
Still. Safety standards back in the day. Where were you? Okay. What else, Spencer? This is not Weber Valley. This is actually a kids club challenge they're doing at one of the dirt tracks down south.
That's kind of awesome.
What movie was it? Was it UHF? You get to drink from the fire hose.
Yes, it was Stanley Spadowski.
I knew you'd know that. All right, what else?
I keep looking up because I've got Big Diamond Raceway Super Dirt Car Series. Did you see Heat Race number 1 tonight?
No, I pay attention to the work we're trying to do here.
Yeah, sure, do that. They have 2 groups of qualifying, and it just so worked out, if you were in Group A, you were either going to be in Heat 1 or Heat 2, depending where you timed. Heat 1 included Matt Shepard, Stuart Friesen, Matt Williamson, Tim Sears Jr. Like, it was just a laundry list of most of the top racers all in one heat.
That sucks, man. You look at that on the board, you're like, oh, man, it's going to be a long night. Bunch of bums in this heat. What else we got, Spencer?
Well, here's a look at why you run a rock screen. Look at that right there. Just so you guys know, there's a carbon cap here. It hit so hard, it knocked it right off. We had it riveted in, and there's my rock screen. You can see it just smoked me. Not even a rock. I think it was just a huge chunk of mud. Like, it felt like the whole opening of the cockpit got hit. And even right now, like, not trying to be dramatic, I feel like my head, I don't know, I think I'm good, but like, I don't know if I'm just tired or I'll just see how I feel, going to sleep tonight, I guess, and wake up tomorrow morning. But I got hit pretty good, I won't lie. Probably the gnarliest thing that's hit me in the cockpit while racing.
Pretty wild. We take a lot of flack at Oshweek, as you know, for running the 2x2, very small opening. We mandated. We've been like that for 10 years, and I'll still stand by it. We keep seeing these accidents where it could be preventative. All right, what else we got, Spencer?
Oh my God! Oh my God! The fire! Holy shit!
Okay, now why I want you to watch this again, Adam, is I know we're not really a drag racing show, but we show all kinds of crazy stuff. Watch right at the end of the guardrail, right where the concrete starts, a photographer or a flagman or a fan jumps out of the way at the very last second.
Oh.
Okay, that's a tuck and duck right here. Let it roll, Speds.
Oh my God! Oh my God! The fire! Holy
Now show the speed one more time if you can. But that was wild, eh?
Oh my God! Oh my God! The fire!
All right, wild.
Is it weird in drag racing that everyone sits at the start but not the finish?
That's a good question. There's never anybody at the finish.
No.
But you know why? You don't know why?
Most of the excitement's at the start line.
Yeah, but you know why you don't have to sit at the finish line?
Tell me, Clinton.
Because they have
Because they have
transponders and a big board at the end of the straightaway that you can look up and see, oh, Johnny beat Tommy. Same way we do on Fridays. Next video.
Yeah,
This is just a nasty crash from Quebec. Oof. Oh, that like the first hit was bad, but the other one was real bad. Roll that one more time, Spence. You know, I like to say we can never see enough replays. This one's nasty. That's bad, but this one, oh,
Yeah.
that's scary stuff when you're on your roof getting twisted around. All right, how many more we got, Spencer? 13. We're gonna be here forever. All right, no, 4 more. 4. I heard you. All right, let's go. 4 more. Oh, this is the restart coming on the semi. I think we need a cooler truck, Adam, but are we close to needing this?
That's dumb. Okay, maybe it's not. But when it almost got stuck on the front stretch, it was dumb.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we could have, I don't want the truck. I just want a cone with wheels, well balanced, with a wicked center of gravity that could get out any situation. I'd be into that. If you're an RC guy, send me a proposal. We're accepting proposals right now for remote control cones. But if it gets smoked, it's your own problem. All right, 3 more. Let's go. I'm getting hungry. We got to go. Just, how can you not appreciate cool dog wearing the goggles at the races?
And his tail's
You better
wagging.
shut that down.
He's not even ashamed.
I love it. Love it. All right, 2 more. Oh, just another shot of how crazy racing was back in the day.
That was Richard Petty, wasn't it?
Show one more time, Spence.
Sure, like not the car that hit the wall, but the car that hit.
Yeah,
No,
sure
maybe
looks
not.
like him. Oof, that way those things burst. All right, last Burger Burn video of the week. Let's see what we got. Oh, half car racing.
The rear-wheel drive class isn't nearly as exciting.
I guess we're not bump drafting these ones very much. All right, that's enough, Spencer.
No, I wouldn't think so. That's pretty cool.
Where's like Glenn Hills and Max Chichok and Carl Salt when you need them for that kind of stuff, because those guys are the ones that always came up and ran those ones. Whew, what a show! Technical difficulties, we got it back on track, made it work. Friday, Saturday for us. Hey, don't forget Thursday we kick off our microsprint program live, the Mac and Jack show with kids of tomorrow, racing on Thursdays. Jack said to me, "Are we really going to call it the Mac and Jack show?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know how we can."
Yeah,
Right?
I have to. I actually just sent you. I just sent you an email before we came on the air.
Oh, I'll check it out. I'm thinking it's the release I asked for last week.
It was 4 days ago. Yeah. Sometimes I'll.
I didn't mean that as a dig.
No.
I didn't mean that as a dig.
Listen, buddy, I own it.
But technically, 4 days ago was last week.
4 days ago was last week.
All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. It's good to be back on the air.
Yeah. Did all of our guests tonight hold us up from letting them go because they had something else they wanted to say? I can't remember if Nick did or not, but I know Zardo's did and I know Shaw did. And I think that's so cool. If you still have more to say,
yeah.
Even when Clint's interviewing you, if you still have more to say, let it be known. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. So do the fans. We want to know what's on your mind and what makes you guys tick. That's what makes it go around. We can watch cars go in circles all day long, but it's the personalities inside of that makes us want to come back. So we appreciate everybody being with us. We will see you later, and we'll see you this weekend. Thursday and Friday, we're live on GeForce TV. 7 o'clock Thursday, 7:30 Friday, and Racing America 6 p.m. We'll be live with the APC series from Flamborough. Thanks, Spencer. See you guys next week.